And I'm frozen. Oh, there we go. Okay. It transitioned, so we are live. Hello, folks. There we go. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to Weekday Wisdom. Let me turn this off on my phone real quick and mute my phone because if I don't, it'll start ringing probably any second. Let's see. Sorry, I could have done this beforehand, but I didn't. So, here we are, and I'm fuzzy. Weekday Wisdom. Welcome, everybody. Jay, always glad to have you. Uh, so, as the title says, we got 999,000 problems, but let's talk about some solutions. So, we're going to cover a few things, and then we want to go over some ideas that we have for solutions to the issues, so to speak, the so called epidemics. But we'll start out with buffets like always. Jay, man, what you got?
All right. So I still got the big dessert. I got the Asgard 30 millimeter on top of the Keen, and inside that I got some Tango Melon from Transistor. Next, I have the Ohana on top of the Dreamer with the Inferno DHD Chop Top. Inside that, some Psycho Kriller. Always got to support Eric. Next, I got the Purge stack with the Apocalypse 25, a DHD nub tip, and inside that I got Parade Maker from IVC. What's today? The second, right?
The first.
I think today was okay. So tomorrow or no, yeah, today's the last day that anyone can buy liquid from their stores that isn't tobacco flavor.
Yep.
So I don't know if they're staying open late or not, but if they are, you might want to go down there and get some if y'all are in the area.
Yep.
Next, I got Bactasia Pink Lemonade inside of the Tenacious Unicorn with a Sparkle Maple DHD Chop Top. And then next, I got the Barrage with, I believe this is the tip from the Turk V2. And this is a Purge Truck Knurled with some Harango in there. And that is all.
All right. Sorry, I'm looking for a Caliburn, but I don't know where it went. So I've got still
Those
got.
things get lost so.
Yeah, no, I don't ever lose this one though. So, thank you. That's the Geek Vape Frenzy in there, and in the Caliburn if I ever find it. I've got the Paradigm Wicked Berry 12 milligram 50/50. Got the Ugly Dreamer with the Dead Goat on top, DHD chop top, constant contact with a black button. Got my Overlord with a drop dead. Oh, I forgot. This is in the Dreamer, the side B, side B, Psycho Crawler. And of course, always in the drop dead. Got the Sad Boy Shamrock Cookie. And then I have my Tenacious Unicorn in green. In there, I've got my PB Party, which is running very, very low. Very low. So I think I'm going to have to order some more of that. And then, of course, always got Big Lunch. Asgard on the Keen. In there, I sucked down about half a bottle of this in 2 days. This is my second bottle of Manga Bees. Uh, I try to like stretch that out, but sometimes you just look down and you just keep dripping and keep vaping. So it is what it is. But sorry, Mark, about the lag. Hopefully it'll get better. Let me see here if I need to make an adjustment real quick. Uh, no, I mean we're cruising okay at the moment. It's fluctuating some, but it's not as bad as it has been in the past. So hopefully it will even out for you a little bit, Mark. I'm sorry if it doesn't. Uh, Oh yeah, I forgot. They'd had a. I'm glad Mark said that. They had a rally at the State House in Ohio today. I hope all of that went well.
Oh,
We haven't heard from Anthony. I hope if Anthony does come in, he'll give us a good update on that. The one other
mhm.
thing I really wanted to share was they did grant a temporary restraining order on the New York flavor ban. This was off of Twitter. Let me get the guy's name. I know his Twitter is eSig Attorney, and I know I should be like more prepared, but I'm not. Uh, Azim Chowdhury, Hury, which is just weird. Uh, but it says the owner of Benevolent E-Liquid, who is on the suit, went live on Facebook confirming a 24-hour temporary restraining order with a possible ruling at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So hopefully at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, we will have another update on whether they're going to grant a restraining order on the or a delay on the ban that's going on in New York. I
Yeah.
believe if that happens, we will gain some ground, and then we will actually have something to stand on. They denied the initial one, but also in there said that they would still consider individuals who owned vaping companies to come in and apply for that. So I think that's what the benevolent e-liquid guys did is just said, okay, well, if you'll consider a singular company coming in, we'll do it. And that shows
Hmm.
honestly shows some balls to come out and say, hey, I don't care. I'll try to go for it. And,
Yeah.
hopefully other people will see that and see that stepping up can make a difference. And
Hmm.
at that point, then we'll have something to really grab a hold of. Hey, they did this in New York, the same thing. They granted a restraining order on it, and then it just went away. And we can't guarantee that that's going to happen, but that's our hope. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, and I really hope that the people keep it up. The people have made a huge difference, uh, and that's all that we have right now is each other. There's very few legislators that support it, and support us. I mean, it's tough because we're all alone, but we're not because we always have each other, and that's huge because it's family helping family. I'm about as far from New York as you can get, but I was sure
Hmm.
to step out of my comfort zone and talk to those folks and make the phone calls and send the emails to Cuomo's office and stuff like that, just trying to get a foothold for somebody up there to grab a hold of to make the difference. And Benevolent E-Liquids did. I don't know if their e-liquid's any good. Never tried it, but who knows? But they're making a difference. So, Jay, what do you think about all that?
Well, one quick thing. One I've been making all my calls pretty much every day, and here this week lately, I've noticed that they're not really wanting you to talk much on the call. I don't know if it's because they're getting so many calls or they're just getting tired of us. But pretty much, if you say you want to talk to someone about the flavor ban, they're like, all right, well, are you against it or are you for it? And then you start talking, they're like, okay, goodbye. They pretty much get if you're against it or for it, and then they say goodbye, see you later, and that's it. So we're getting on someone's nerves. So let's keep doing it. Let's keep making the calls. Everyone out there who's making the calls, thank you. If you can't make the calls because you have a lot of things going on, you can send the emails. Send
Mm-hmm.
them once a week if you can, every day if you can. However many times you can do it, please, because it is definitely helping. It's letting them know that we're still here. And I mean, even if there is a nationwide ban or almost every state bans it or whatever, we still need to make the calls. There you go. Because if we stop making the calls and we let all this just pass by, we're not going to have anything for us. because they think, okay, yeah, we'll ban this, and then within a week or 2 weeks, a month after the bans on every state or whatever, people will stop calling. But if we keep calling, they'll be like, God, these guys are just not gonna stop. And then they'll just, okay, you know what? We'll actually look into it and do some real research.
Yeah.
But for the lawsuit and everything, I think that is great. I think that it's awesome that someone kind of had the balls to do it, I guess, like you said, but also said, you know what, screw it. What else do we have to offer? I mean, if it's money that we have to pay to do this, or if it's money that we have to pay to get a lawyer involved in everything, that's, I mean, they might have said, well, I mean, this is all we have. If we don't have anything else, and this is all we have, and we have a little bit of money to do this, might as well do it, because if not, then you never know. You might, it's like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't shoot. And if you don't try to go for it right then and there, then you never know what could have happened. So they probably just said, screw it. You know what? We're not the richest company in the world, but we have some money that we can use for a lawyer to get some stuff out there, and we'll do that. And I think that's really awesome that they did. I think it shows that they're standing up. I hope a lot of other e-liquid manufacturers and hardware manufacturers in the United States, I hope they do stand up for this, and they do start talking more about it, and they start communicating with each other. Because as consumers and as advocates, we talk amongst each other, and we talk to some of the people out there who are the creators of the liquids and the products and everything. But I think it should be like not divided, but the consumers all need to come together, and we all need to fight this. The people who own the industries and who are making the products and all this and that, they need to also come together with us, but have their little side chat. Like, it's like having two separate group chats. You have one with everyone, 20 people, and then you have one with 10 people. That one with 10 people needs to be all the manufacturers, and they need to sit there and they need to talk about this. Say, hey, we're thinking about going for it. We're thinking about making a run at this. And then the next one, you know what, I'll back you up. And I think that should be something right there, because once one person does it, it's kind of like the states whenever they started doing the flare bans. Once one state did it, it seemed like every day, or there for a while, it was one a week. And now it seems like every day I'm seeing a new one, new call to action, flavor ban hearing, or new call to action, flavor ban talks. And, I mean, it's just crazy. But I think that we could put a stop to this, but we need the manufacturers behind us too, because we're just consumers. And I don't want to say it just like, oh, we're just consumers. We're just the people who are using the products to be healthier and have a safer, longer life. We're the people who are buying products, but the people who are making the products, if they don't give a damn and they're not coming to these hearings, or they're not doing anything like that, they're just pretty much going to look at it and say, well, I mean, it's just the people here who use it. The people who make it, they don't really care. They're not throwing a big fuss. But if you get people out there, like I've seen, like Anthony Miller, they have a shop. He's out there. Who else was out there? Prohibition e-liquid, and there's a couple other manufacturers who were out there. But Prohibition e-liquid, they were out there. And I mean, it's pretty crazy that you have manufacturers out there. It's awesome. I hope that it stays that way, but I hope that a lot of people follow this lawsuit and do it, because I mean, if one can push it back one day, if 100 can push it back 100 days, because they're not going to be able to have a hearing with every single person in one day. I mean, they might group them all together and just say, you know what, screw it, we'll just do it this way. But I highly doubt they'll do that. They're going to have separate dates for hearings and everything. So, I mean, the more we can push this back, the more they're going to say, okay, why are they throwing up such a big fuss about it? And then once we start throwing up such a big fuss about it, what are they going to do? You know what? I guess we really should take a look into this and not just listen to what we're seeing on the news, and not listen to what we're hearing and all this other stuff.
Exactly.
And then once they start doing the research, they'll start seeing the facts.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I think they're, the benevolent e-liquids, if you know those guys, make sure to give them a hug and let them know that we love them and we have their backs. I think, I would encourage everybody, if they have a website, go send them an email. Hey, thanks for what you're doing in New York. And I think that, yes, they probably had to spend some money. They might have had an attorney on retainer, just simply because they are a business. I don't know that for sure. But just, even if they're not out any money, they deserve a thank you at least. That's how I treat the people that work under me is anything they do, I feel like they deserve a thank you. If it's above and beyond what they normally do, they deserve at least a thank you. And that goes a
Oh
long
yeah,
way.
like this, like the governor from Arizona. I called him and he didn't answer. No one answered the representatives or anything like that, or his people who answer the phones.
Mm-hmm.
So I left him a voicemail thanking him,
Yeah.
and I think everyone should do that too. Honestly.
Yeah, I think that's huge when somebody takes the time to say, okay, let's take another look at it. Let's wait for firm facts to come in rather than just a knee jerk reaction. And honestly, I don't know if the knee jerk reaction will end up coming back on the people that got the knee jerk reaction, but I think it will end up costing them in the long run. Especially if they're elected officials. There was the thing that came out about Trump. How many votes he won by in certain states and how many vapors are in those states. Who knows how
Yep.
that comes out per county, say just New York. It could be that, he may lose the next election simply because of this. And I wouldn't doubt it if it happened. Uh, but, we can't make those assumptions. We can just look at it from an outsider's perspective. And I agree with what Jay said
Mhm.
about the manufacturers. They need to be involved. I think Aspire was at the New Jersey. I think a representative from
Yeah,
Aspire was there, which is huge. I
and
mean
there was some at the California one too, or the
yeah,
Los Angeles one.
yeah, and I'm sure there was American manufacturers there because a lot of them are in the Las Vegas, California area. I know that's two different places, but you know what I mean. Uh,
Yeah.
Now I lost my train of thought. Uh, but it's great that they're willing to come out there because a lot of these Chinese manufacturers they don't care what happens over here. Uh, you know, they
No.
think they're going to get more sales from e-liquid simply because they're banning it over here. But I don't really think that would happen. I think more people would go to uh, DIY, and more people would go to a local person they know. And of course, the black market's going to go from here to here, uh, which is going to end up hurting more people, and more people are going to end up being sick, and then they're going to say, well, we tried. Uh, we're telling them what's going to happen. So we got off on a little tip, but we're back. So let's talk about some solutions of how this could be taken care of without an all out or without any kind of ban period. Uh, first solution that I have, and I think Jay will agree with me, is closed pod systems that have over 20 milligram nicotine are off the market. They're not allowed. Uh, now that I would do that nationwide, and I do understand there's going to be that one person out there that say, "Oh, I need my 50 milligram jewel." You do, but if you use a 20 milligram, your body will adjust. Now, you will go
Mm-hmm.
through more of the e liquid at first until you can titrate yourself down. Uh, I started on, I want to say with my first setup, I had 16 or 18 milligram freebase. Uh, and I worked my way down to 12, and that was in this little thing. So I mean, this is not even sub ohm. This is I think a 1.6 or a 1.8 ohm coil, and I got down to 12 milligram, and then sub ohm came out, and sub ohm started getting bigger. So then I dropped down to a 6 when I started into sub ohm. Well, then I dropped down to a 3, and that's where I've been ever since because I still like the nicotine. I still need that fix every once in a while. And I did use Salt Nick for a long time in something like this, or in my Caliburn. And now I've kind of gone back to 12 milligram 50/50 because Salt Nick was kind of making my throat itchy and making me cough. But that's just, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all of that is going to be, so I can't think of the word, subjective for each person. Some people love the brash of a throat hit off of 50 milligram salt nick. I'm not one of those
Yeah.
people. And I don't know a lot of people that are like that. I don't see how that TVC Brian Herb has like a throat of steel because he uses 18 milligram 50/50, and that has to just kick you right in the freaking throat every time you take it. But to each his own. If that's what he likes, that's what he likes. It's a free country. He should be able to use that if he wants to. So, but that's my number one solution because that would eliminate a lot of this teen epidemic, uh, because they like that 50 milligram because they can get that nick buzz off of it, and that's what everybody here knows that's what they're after. So I know I'm preaching to the choir, but if anybody in chat, real quick, if anybody in chat has any solution they want to throw out there, hey, we could do this, hey, we could do that, you know, we will discuss it. There's no right or wrong answer here. We're just wanting to talk with you guys and get some input from you guys on how you think this solution could be made. So that's kind of my solution that I wanted to throw out there. Jay, what you got?
Kind of same as yours. I think we talked about it on Weekend Wisdom, or kind of mine. I think just anything. I think if we just go UK rules, I'm not talking about like the Nick shots and everything, but anything 2024 around there, off and up, off the market. I think 24 salt Nick is a good one. And if someone says, "Oh, well, I need," like you said, "Oh, I need that 50 milligram," okay. If you need that 50 milligram, then a 24 freebase, like you said, is just it'll get you there. Don't worry, it'll get you there. And then, like one lady had at one of the rallies or hearings, the authentication thing for your ID, where as soon as you walk in, you can't even walk in uh, without swiping your ID. I think that's something too for vape shops. I mean, vape shops aren't the main reason why the youths are getting this. It's the gas stations and everything, but I think having that will just be like extra credit, pretty much. You're already making that 98. You're already making a 98 on your test. You put that there, you're making 100 now. I think that would definitely help. I think, I mean, maybe if it's something that everyone, all vape shops has to go buy. I mean, it's not a huge investment, but I mean, it'll work. I think that's something that should be really good right there. And have them at gas stations and everywhere. Because I mean, I went to a gas station and they checked my ID, but before they used to scan it. They used to use their little barcode reader and scan
Mm-hmm.
it. I
Just
asked him, I was like, "Well, do y'all do that?" And he was like, "Well, yeah. Why?" He's like, "Are you? Am I in trouble?" I was like, "No, I was just asking. I just want to know." I was like, "You already checked my ID. I don't really care. I'm just wondering, like, do y'all have the thing that scans it?" He's like, "Yeah, we just don't really use it much because sometimes it freezes or it's messed up. So we most times we just look at it." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." But I mean, I'm pretty sure every vape shop can get it, every gas station, corner store can get it. I mean, if maybe that's something you have to be able to sell tobacco or vaping products. I'm not just talking about just for vaping, but tobacco products too.
yeah.
I think that's something you should to have,
Mm-hmm.
I would want to say there's no way around it. But I mean, if something does happen to the thing and you can't get it to work, then you'd be able to check the IDs. But I mean, I I wish the every system out there in the world was just foolproof and nothing could mess it up. Like there's no way it'd break down or anything. Because so that would say, hey, there's no way you can authorize a tobacco or alcohol sale without scanning the card. I mean, even typing it in. I mean, you could fudge the numbers and everything. So, but I mean, a nicotine cap for sure. And closed pod systems, I would want to say yes, take them off the market, but there's a good there. I'm not a huge fan of them, but they are for people. I think that's something that would be okay. But like you said, a nicotine cap would definitely be great. I mean, not even having it in bottles, like the 50 milligram salt nicks and everything. I think that all those should just get thrown away right now.
Yep.
I don't think that they should be around.
Yep.
Um, but I mean, that's just my opinion. And I mean, like even Logan exhaled. Me and him were talking about it, and he was saying the same thing. I think he said 24 or 20, Nick, was what he thinks it should be at. I mean, somewhere around there, I think it should be at because you can have the salt mix where it's not as harsh, or you can have the free base if you want, or the traditional, whatever you want to call it, if you want it a little bit harsher. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I just think that that's stuff that needs to be looked at instead of just doing an all-out ban. I think that they should have tried to. I guess because we're not like a big organization where we have like one person who's like overall vaping. We don't have a vape god. We don't have a
Yeah.
vape god. Everyone thinks they're a vape god, but we don't have a vape god. So I mean, I think if we had that, I think that would be something that'd be cool because they could have went to one person or I mean a group of 20 people and said, "Hey, we need to figure some shit out, or else we're going to kick you off the market." I think that'd been better than just, "Hey, screw y'all are out of here."
Yeah.
But I see people putting stuff in chat for online stuff. Um, so I'm not reading it yet, but I mean, I think that online, honestly, I hate the you have to sign for the package. I hate it. I hate it because I go to work. I have to be at work at 8. I don't get home till 5. Post office comes anywhere from 9 to 3, so I'm never home. So what I used to do whenever I had to do that, I would tell my fiance, "Hey, can you go to the post office? Something should have been delivered today. Can you go to the post office and can you go sign for a package for me?" And they would always release it to her because she's of age, same household and everything.
Right.
And they actually only release it to her because they have a copy of my ID as well,
Mm-hmm.
because they know they know that my age and everything. But she's a resident at my house, so she goes and gets it for me and she signs for it. But I mean, yeah, it does suck that we might have to do something like that. But I mean, there's so many other good things we could do besides just signatures. The
Well, I mean,
online
the
what was that?
other thing to that, I have stuff shipped to my work all the time.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean, ship it to your office. If one of the
Yeah,
warehouse folks said, "Hey, I'm supposed to be getting a package in," I'll get it for them.
yeah,
If
yeah,
they
true.
if
I
they
thought
have
about
to,
that. Or opening a PO box.
yeah, or if they have to sign for it, I'll call them up there and say, "Hey, you have to sign for this."
Yeah,
Or tell the
that's not
tell
too
the
bad.
USPS, "Hey, they work for me. They're inside.
Hmm.
They're working. I'll sign for it, and I'll make sure they get it." Normally, when they
Yeah.
deliver to a business, they're kind of understanding about that stuff.
Hmm.
So, and we won't hire anybody under the age of 18 because it's illegal on what we're
Yeah.
doing. So,
Yeah. But I mean, and then the online verification, I don't ever have to do it anymore. I almost had to do it one day because I was trying to buy some liquid for a buddy, and he wanted it shipped to my house, but I used his card and everything like that. Or no, I think I was doing it under my account, but I was shipping it to his address and using his card. So it told me to do the face recognition thing again. So I just deleted it and I went back in and signed in as myself and just shipped it to my house, used my card and everything to cut out all the work.
yeah,
And it said, okay, you're authorized to buy it because it already knows my login and all that. I've already done the picture. I've done the
yeah,
picture of my ID. I've done it where I'm holding it up. I think that's a good thing right there too. But I mean, I don't know many kids who can get a picture of their parent holding up their ID and then a picture of their parent's ID. So, I mean,
yeah,
I think that'd be something that's really great. I don't know exactly how many companies are doing it. I think Stan does it. I think AR Liquid, AR E Liquid does it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who do it. It's just I don't know really because I've done it one time and it's in the system already.
right,
Like E-Liquid Corner, they do it. I mean, there's a bunch of different things I think would really help. So I mean, like I said, a nicotine cap and then a way to authorize at shops and online would be a great thing.
yeah.
I know it was a long answer for something I just made very short right there, but yeah,
Oh no, you're good. Well, Mark Loomis in the chat, he said pretty much the same thing. Electronic verification, get rid of pre-filled high neck pods.
mm-hmm.
Make flavor product only available in a vape shop and not gas stations, convenience stores.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's not a bad idea right there. I like that.
yeah, and I understand that. And if they wanted to keep pre-filled pods, with 24 nick or less, they could sell those in the gas station. I wouldn't object to that, but
Yeah,
they would
that's the one
need
thing I want to argue too.
they would need the same program to sell vape gear that the vape
Yep.
shops have. And
Hmm.
I need to get in contact with my buddy because he was looking at trying to write a program that would take the $100 scanner and scan the driver's license and pull all the information that's required. I mean, he works a lot, so I don't really know if he's made any progress in that. But I would love to take that and make that readily available for any vape shop, anybody who would want to set that up in their shop. And hopefully I'll be able to do that. Not for any kind of recognition. I don't care. I want to keep this industry growing. And honestly,
Yep.
I want to keep this industry alive. And if that's something that can help keep this industry alive, I'm willing to do it. This industry saved my life among, I would say, 95% of my friends now are vapors, and so this has saved all of their lives. Jay and I would have never met each other if it
Yep.
wouldn't have been for vaping. So, and let's see, Swaggin said, he said, whatever it is, it needs to be something that all shops uniformly can adopt. Same with online age verification, it will need to be a universal standard.
Yeah.
And see,
Yep.
that's where sensible regulation comes into play.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people are like, no regulations, no regulations. We're going to get regulated. That's same thing goes for the no tax people. We're going to get taxed. Hopefully, it won't be as much as they tax regular combustible cigarettes. But if it is, it is. There's going to be tax involved. There's going to be some regulation involved, which it needs to be. There needs to be standards that all of these companies are held to. We
Hmm.
don't want dumpster juice or bathtub liquid or anything like that. Nobody does. Uh, but there needs to be some kind of standard out there for labs. And most legitimate companies, I don't worry about. One right here in front of me, 12 Monkeys. I don't worry about
Hmm.
anything I get from 12 Monkeys. I don't worry about anything I get from Eric, Vinyl and Vapor, uh, you know, Sad Boy,
IVC.
yeah, IVC, all these other people that are out there that I trust. I don't worry about it. Uh, I don't know a lot of the other manufacturers, but I believe that they do need to have some sort of standard that they go by. No kiddie pools
Hmm.
allowed. Uh, that would be the
Yeah.
number one standard. No kiddie pools. So, but I understand the people that are no regulation because they just want it like they want it. If they want 90 nick, they want 90 nick. That's where it comes into
Hmm.
DIY. If you want that much nicotine, you need to DIY it. They sell everything you need to do it. Take a little time, learn how to do it, and then make whatever you want. But we're gonna have to give a little to make this go. Uh, it's not one of those things where we can just sit back and say, "Yep, we got what we want, and we want to keep it just like this." I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. So
No.
the only solution that you're going to come up with is saying, "Hey, let's compromise. We'll give up this if you let us keep going."
Yeah.
Uh, it is what it is. There's nothing else that we're going to be able to do in that situation to make that happen. We're going to have to give something, and I hope everybody
Yeah.
realizes that. And I, it's tough because this is an industry that we all love, and it'll always hold a special place for me, and I think it does for everybody out there that has quit smoking using a 95% safer alternative called vaping.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people like you said it hits home with me because I mean I've made so many friends. I would have never went to Houston and met Swaggin, Stan, Poon Sauce. I would have never even knew someone named Poon Sauce or their YouTube name Poon Sauce or anything. I mean, Clown. And there's a bunch of people in Texas I got to meet, like Angela. I got to meet like a bunch of really smart people, like Angela. I got to meet Mike Vapes, M Turk, like people like that, people that are really cool. And I mean, it just sucks to hear their story because most of the people I just mentioned, I've heard their story. It sucks to hear their story and imagine where they'd be without vaping. I mean, like M Turk, his story. I mean, where would he be? Angela,
Yeah.
her family and everything. Where would they be? Where would Thick Nick be? Where would Poonsauce be? I mean, it's sad. Swaggins. I mean, where would all them be?
Yeah.
And one thing I keep hearing a lot of people say is, "We'll just take it out of convenience stores, take it out of gas stations." To me, I think that's a big no. I don't want it out of gas stations, even though they're the main people who are screwing us over. I still say no because if you walk into a gas station and that's all you see is just that, I think it would be a little bit different for people. I mean, no one's really going to want to go and no one's going to really want to go and go out there to do go look for a vape shop. People want it just right there in front of them. I think that's something that would be really great if it was still at gas stations, because if we take it out of gas stations, it's pretty much saying, okay, well, we're just going to give it to, we're going to sell it to the people that we know want to do it. The people who
Mm-hmm.
don't know, who just, okay, well, while they're up there looking at the cigarettes because they have an extra minute because there's a person in front of them in line where they're like, hey, you know what? I might just buy a Juul today. I might just try it, or I might just buy an Enjoy Pod or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it'd be dumb for us to say, yeah, let's take it out of here. I think it would. That's just me though. But I mean, yeah,
But
I just hope,
they need the program to scan the driver's license.
yeah,
You know, and
yep,
like I said, if this comes to fruition, you know, I don't want money for it because I want to keep this industry going. You know, I would give this away. You know, I would never sell it. You know, I would copyright it. You know, trademark it, whatever I'd have to do. So it would, you know, the rights to it would actually belong to me, but I would never charge for it. If someone wants to sell vape gear, and I have this uh, tool that will make it where they can sell vape gear, they will have it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's just,
And I
it's
mean,
just
it's just sad thinking about it. It's just really sad thinking about all the people who are gonna not be able to find this tool. It's just really sad thinking about it.
yeah,
Because I mean, it's helped so many people, and I mean, it can help so many more. And to think that America just keeps saying, "Oh, well, you know what? Screw it," that it just sucks.
yeah, and then you do have the people out there that are, well, I'll just go back to smoking, and that's
Yeah,
no, please don't. You know, come to me. You know, I've got stuff. You know, I don't have a lot of stuff, but I have, you know, liquid that I haven't used, and I have liquid sitting here that I've tried. That's, you know, I keep it just for a backup in case I run out of something. Uh,
yeah,
you know, I would always, always say, hey, I will give it to you if you will keep going. If you don't go back to cigarettes, I will do whatever I can to supply you what you need. And I said in the Omi's chat last night, you know, anybody, I will send, if somebody needs something, I'll send you my address. You have it shipped to me,
oh
and then I'll ship
yeah,
it
yep,
to you. Because shipping from person to person, nobody's going to look at anything. May against the
yeah,
law, yes. Worth it, 100% yes. You know, I would do that for someone in a heartbeat to keep them from going back. That's what we have to understand, and that's what we're fighting for. You know, not just for me, not just for Jay, But for everybody out there that's tried a vape, that wants to try a vape, there's people out there that want to try it, but now they're scared because all the fear mongering from the media. And that's what we have to get past. And we don't have the support as of yet in the U.S. to get
Yeah.
past that. But that's what we're working towards. We want to be able to get to that point. And I don't know how long it's going to take us to get to that point. But we have to keep our heads up. We have to keep fighting. We have to persevere through all of this negativity that's going on. Jay and I are kind of somber today. We're not ranting. We're not angry. It's kind of a somber day. It's a happy day. We did have the good news from New York, but I'm sure that there's going to be more talk of flavor bans coming in other areas. Uh, it's just going to happen. People have to go through their paces to get the correct information. So you were about to say something?
It just sucks because we keep seeing all these studies come out during these, and it's coming. Some of them are actually coming, like, get reported from the same places that the bad stuff was getting reported from, and they're just like, you know what? Well, we heard this first, so we're gonna go with what we heard first. And it's just terrible that they don't want to actually do anything about it. And like I tweeted, these representatives work for us. Everyone has been saying this, and I tweeted it because I've been hearing everyone say it, and that's what I've been saying a lot. Is these representatives, we elect them to work for us. If they're not letting you let your voice be heard, if they're not listening to you about anything, any of your concerns, they're not doing their jobs. You need to try to do whatever you can to schedule a meeting with the governor or with the higher up in that, and you need to try to do what you can to speak to them. And if not, then, I mean, let people know what happened. Let people know what happened. I mean, I've done it on Twitter. Oh, I called Gretchen Whitmer, and then I get hung up on. I mean, I've I've done it. I mean, just put it out there. Let people know that these representatives aren't representing you properly. I mean, I know I don't live in that state, but still, let them
Right.
know. I could have been someone who lived in that state and they didn't know, and then they just hang up on you, or they
Yeah.
just don't want to talk to you, or they just say, "Oh, we're not taking calls for that right now."
Exactly.
Your job is to take the calls from the people about what they're concerned in, even if it's something that happened 10 years ago. If they're still concerned about it, you're supposed to take that call.
And it should be, from what I understand, everything should be documented and tracked.
Yep.
So regardless of whether they let you talk for 10 seconds or they let you stay on the phone for 10 minutes, all
Mm-hmm.
of that should be documented and tracked. Uh,
Yeah, I think New York, they documented mine, and today they said, "Oh, well, it shows that this is the first time any of them have done this." I don't know if they're all tracking it or not, or if they're supposed to be, or whatever they're doing. They say they are, but New York actually said, "Oh, okay, well, it shows that you've called us a couple times in the last couple weeks. Are you against it? Or are you still against it, or are you for the flavor ban?" I'm like, "I'm still against it." I had something I wanted to say. They're like, "Okay, well, right now all we're doing is if you've already called and you put in a statement, we're just pretty much, if you've already called, we're just going to see if you're still with it or against it, pretty much."
yeah.
Which, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, whenever they do stuff like that, I'm okay with it. But whenever they just answer the phone, "Okay, are you against it or with it?" and they don't even know who it is or where you're calling from or anything,
Right.
I mean, that's like
It's
Gretchen Whitmer. They told me it was like 2 weeks ago or last week. No, it was 2 weeks ago, where they said, "Oh, we're not taking any phone calls from out of state." And then I called them. That was on Friday or something like that. And then the next day or the next Monday, I call them and they say, "Oh yeah, where are you calling from?" I said, "Texas." "Are y'all taking out of states calls?" "Yeah, we're taking out of state calls." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
yeah.
So either someone lied or they changed what they were doing.
That's just somebody trying to
I
stay
don't
off the phone.
know.
So
Mm-hmm.
they're missing out on their solitaire game on their cell phone. So they had to get back to it.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to be all down and sad and blah blah blah. Eeyore over here for both of us. But uh, it is what it is. We try to be as upbeat as we can. We try to give y'all the news that we can. We're coming up with solutions. We hope you guys are thinking about solutions for this issue and bring that up. If they let you talk, bring up solutions that could fix this issue. Don't just, you want to be rehearsed. You want to have your bullet points, but if put your ideas for solutions towards the bottom of your list. That way, you get your story, you get what you're standing for, and then you can kind of get into those. Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? If they let you go that long, try to get that point across is that there is other solutions. And and I hate to beat a dead horse, but that's really what we have to do at this point. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not one of those people. If you tell me once and maybe remind me one more time, I'm okay with that. But just beating that dead horse of over and over and over again, it's something that bothers me in my personal life. But something like this, that's what we have to do. If they're not
Yep.
willing to listen, we just have to keep calling and saying the same thing over and over again
Mm-hmm.
until it makes a difference. And I'll tell you now,
Yep. I'm
it
pretty sure that
it
you go ahead.
will make a difference. No matter how downtrodden you feel, I'm wasting my time making all these phone calls to all these different states that have nothing to do with me. It does have something to do with you because
Yep.
you're part of the vaping community. The vaping community has no state borders. We are just a community. And no state borders, national borders, nothing. Some of our closest friends in the Discord are from Canada. And,
Yeah.
those two, three, I think there's four of them that are on Discord a lot with the rest of us. Anything that we needed, they would do it. Anything they needed, we would do it. There
Yeah.
are no borders in the vape community, especially the one that we're a part of, which is the Vape Stew Discord. If you're not part of that,
Mm-hmm.
please look it up on Facebook, answer the questions. You can be a part of it, and then you will get access to the Vape Stew Discord. If you need a community to be a part of, please join that. It's great. There's a lot of great people, including Jay. He's in there. Uh, I'm in there too, but I'm not so great, so you just kind of have to deal with me. But there's so many good things there. You get updated on everything from
Oh yeah.
advocacy to sales to
New
hey, yeah, I
products.
was about to say I have a new product coming out. There are not manufacturers but designers, and there's also YouTube reviewers that will get products and post them on there. Hey, look at this new thing that's coming out. And one thing I wanted to bring up from a while ago was I said new things coming out. Think about Heavy Metal Vapor and Johnny Drips. The Ohana just dropped, I think, what, a week and a half ago? Maybe two
Yeah,
weeks
something like
ago?
that.
Yeah. I mean, these are two super guys. They do a lot for the vape community. They've been around for a long time. Oh, yeah, and the Barrage with Thesis. Thesis is
Mm-hmm.
a great guy, too. They're dropping both.
Stands.
Yeah, they're dropping these products now during this time, and it's just it, it's one of the hardest times in vaping, but they're still out there. They're still out there trying to do it and trying to make it, and that is very commendable of them because these guys could have held back these releases until after all this was over to find out if they should release it or not, and they said no, we're going to release it now because we want the public to have it. We
Yeah.
believe this product is something that has to be out there. And something like that, that means the world to me that these guys would do that. And
Mm-hmm.
I love Heavy and Johnny and Thesis. I don't really know Thesis as well, but great guy to watch on YouTube. I love his views on certain things. And of course, we all
I
love
love his
Stan.
energy.
Yes,
He's got the Rip Chipper's energy, but not the.
yeah, but he doesn't. He's not cracked out.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
everybody loves Stan. Stan's a super guy. There's not much you can't say anything negative about him simply because there really isn't anything that I've found so far. And
Yeah.
that pretty much goes for everyone that I've met in this community. Everybody has positives and negatives. Everybody has, you know, their niche of what they're good at. And if one person doesn't know, say you have a question about something, hey, my RDA is getting hot or my button feels warm every time I use it. Well, I think so and so had that issue. Let me let me give you their messenger, and you can message them about it, and you can talk to them about it. There's so much that can be worked through. And I know we've gone way off of topic of solutions or anything, but community is super important, especially at this time. We don't want
Oh yeah.
any vapor out there to feel like they're alone because you're not. I know my channel is extremely small. I think I'm up to 62 subscribers. Uh, you know, but that's okay. You know, I'm out here for you guys. I'm not out here for fame or for money or for anything like that. I mean, you can see I'm still in work shirt, work hat. I rolled in, ate dinner, came in here and sat down and started getting ready. Uh, you know, that's what I want you guys to realize, and I want everybody out there to know that we're here for everybody. We're not here for us. And if anybody else out there has any sort of solutions they want to throw out there, we're coming down close to the end. Maybe 5 minutes or so left, but you know, I just want to say I love everybody out there. Thank you all for making your phone calls, sending your emails, talking to whomever that you can, whoever will give you their ear for a second, make a difference in their life, educate them on the correct facts about vaping. I had a guy come up to me,
Mm-hmm.
uh, really one of the coolest guys that works for me, and he's a smoker, and I'm outside and I've got my Caliburn and I'm sitting out there hitting on it a few times, and he's well, his nickname's Freddie Mercury. He's a little sugary, to say the least, but super nice guy. I never hold that against anybody. To each his own. Whatever you want to be is what you want to be. But he's over there with his cigarette in his hand. He's like, that's gonna kill you. Talking about my vape, and I was like, actually, it's not. And I was able to tell him and go over with him about everything that's false about what's going on in the news. I was able to pull up the stuff on my phone and say, hey, here's a fact, here's a fact, here's a fact, and here's a myth, here's a myth, here's a myth. Uh, if you do that, say even one person a week that comes up to you and says something like that, and you're able to educate that person, if everybody can do that, think about the impact that will make in people understanding facts. This is just everyday people. It's not, it's not all about legislators, governors, elected officials. I think that covers everybody. Uh, but it's about just average people understanding the facts, because your average person that's a non-smoker, I guess a smaker is kind of a dual user, a non-smoker, non-vapor. Uh, their main source of information is antis and media. Hold on. Sorry. Uh, just came walking in. Hey, Daddy. Uh, Sorry, everybody. He's playing Minecraft. Wants me to come see what he did. I told him I'd be there in a minute. But you know, think about what I was talking about. The impact that one person a week that you could educate on the correct facts of vaping. Think about how much of an impact that would make. You have 13 million. Well, actually, by Danielle Jones' study, there's more than 13 million in the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
So think about how much of an impact 13, just a base of 13 million, sharing with one person every week. You're looking at for maybe what 13 million people a week if you shared with one person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about how much of an impact that could make. And that's something that we have to do. I'm not saying hit the streets with your picket signs, walk up and down, but just be your normal self. Normally when I'm out in public, I don't have this. I'm not going to walk around with a mech blowing huge clouds everywhere. You know, I'll carry these two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving everybody the bird, I promise. Here, let me get away from that. 12 milligram 50/50. So I get just the right amount of nicotine. It's got a good throat hit, so I stay with that. It doesn't kick you in the throat by any means, but it's good. It's just right for me.
Mm-hmm.
But using that, it could spark a conversation. If you're out there with your mech blowing huge clouds, people are just going to look at you like you're a douche. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in the privacy of your own home, in your car, if you're, anywhere not in public, I don't have a problem with you doing it. But I would say if you're going to do it, don't do it in public.
Yeah,
Take
that's like
your,
me. I carry like here lately. I've been carrying the barrage on like the Dreamer or anything else.
yeah,
It's a single coil. It's on a mech, but I mean, I'll take the hit if I'm out in public. I'll take the hit. I'll hold it in, blow
yeah,
it out when it looks like that.
yeah,
I mean, it's really easy to do. It's just I don't think we have a problem with the adults doing it. I think it's the younger age people
yeah,
doing it.
yeah. I think adults really kind of know what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. I think a
Yeah.
lot of the, you know, 20 to 25 are just out there trying to blow huge clouds in this area, just to let's make it all foggy, guys, and there's no purpose in it. Uh,
Yeah.
so make yourself approachable to people that maybe have a question for you. Don't be offended if somebody asks you a question. Definitely don't be offended like the guy told me. That's gonna kill you. You know, I didn't take that as offensive in any way, and I hope nobody out there would.
That's
Uh,
my opportunity. That's I take
yeah,
that as an opportunity every time. Like I hope whenever I'm walking like close to a store and I see the people who look at me like I'm like, oh, please say something. I just want to enlighten you for a minute. But I mean, it's like you said. I mean, I'm not a big pod guy. I whenever I'm an RDA guy. Sometimes RTAs. I carry around a single coil RDA with me every day to work and back.
hmm
And whenever I go somewhere, that's what I use because that's what I like. But I don't sit there and try to inhale as hard as I can to make the biggest cloud. I damn sure don't take this out in public with me. Probably get in trouble and they'll think it's a nightstick or something. I don't know. But like you said, I mean, don't get angry if people ask you questions. I look for that as an opportunity.
hmm
I have a guy at work. I've talked about him before. My boss. He tried to quit once with vaping. That was back in the ego days, and now he wants to quit because he doesn't want to get hit with the huge per diem that we're gonna or whatever it's called, the huge whatever it is that we're gonna be getting hit with here pretty soon for the insurance for nicotine and tobacco. So he went. He said he's gonna go buy some nicotine patches this week. I said, well, why don't you just try vaping? He's like, yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. He's like, I know how I am. If it's something cool or something I think that I would really like, I'm not gonna put it down. He's like, I don't want to pick up another habit, and I completely understand that. But I told him there's ways you can step down and eventually get off it. But he
hmm
he wants to try the patches first. I was like, well, I'm just letting you know that this is 2 times more effective. I was like, honestly, I think the gum would be more effective than the patches because you're still using your mouth.
Right.
Instead of inhaling, you're chewing on a gum. I told him about grinds. I believe that's the coffee grinds that have the nicotine in it, no tobacco. I was telling about those. He's like, that's not a bad solution too, but he's looking for something to not be a hobbyist in. He knows if he gets into vaping, he's going to turn not into a hobbyist, but someone who's not going to stop.
Yeah.
He wants to stop nicotine for good. And I was like, yeah, I understand that. That's great. At least you're not sitting here and saying, well, vaping was going to kill you. Now, he'll make a joke every now and then, be like, I was watching the news this morning. They said something about that vaping stuff you're doing and how it's going to kill you. I'm like, I know you don't even watch the news. Don't try to play me. He's just around. But, I mean, whatever works for whatever people. If patches work for you, gums, lozenges, whatever it is. If it works for you, it works for you. And I'm happy for whoever it works for. Yeah. But there is science on our side saying this is 2 times more effective. And it's 2 times more effective, but not for everyone. So, I mean, if it's something that won't work for him or anyone else, that's fine. But there is two times as many people as patches and everything else works for that vaping works for.
Right.
So, I mean, that's one thing I always bring up. I mean, yeah, you can go buy it, but I always tell them, don't waste your money on something that won't help you. Vaping, yeah, you're going to have to invest in it. I even told them, vaping, you're going to have to invest in it. Once you're done with it, hell, I'll buy it from you and I'll sell it. You get a smoke tech starter kit or something, whatever. Get whatever you want. I'll buy it, I'll buy it off you whenever you're done. And I'll go out there and sell it, or I'll just throw it in my drawer, whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see people dying. I'm not saying I don't want to see people smoking cigarettes, because I mean it's whatever you want to do. But I don't want to see people dying and having to suffer through cancer. That's my main big thing. Harm reduction.
Yep.
I don't want to get vaping banned. I don't want to get tobacco banned. I don't want to get alcohol. I don't want to get THC, CBD, any of that. I'm all in it for harm reduction. That's all I'm in it for. Human rights and harm reduction. If you want to smoke. Go right ahead.
Yep.
But I'm going to be there whenever you want to reduce the harm you're putting on yourself.
Well, we got Martian Bigfoot just jumped in a couple of minutes ago. He asked, what are your thoughts on pods? We talked about that a little bit earlier. I use an open pod system. I use this one and a frenzy, a Caliburn and a frenzy. I take that with me everywhere I go. I don't use salt nick. I use 20 or 12 milligram, definitely not 24, 12 milligram 50-50. I did use salt nick. It kind of bothered me, started making my throat itchy and making me cough, so I decided to go with 12 milligram 50-50. It still gives you that little throat hit, and it gives me the nicotine that I need. So I'm not against pod systems. I'm not a big fan of high nick closed pod systems. I think that, going with a 20 milligram nick salt or a 24 milligram freebase in a pod system would be better than using 50 milligram salt nick. That's just my opinion. I think that's one of the solutions we can present to the legislators to try to make a difference and honestly give them something. I understand we be giving up something, and we talked about this earlier. I don't want to go back and go over all of it again, but if you want to know the long and the short of it, Martian, just wait and watch the replay, or either rewind now and watch the replay. It'll kind of give you everything you ask for. But yes, I do use pods. I know Jay's got an Orchid. Don't know if he uses it that much, but I mean, both of us are pretty big mech guys. I mean, I carry these three. Well, no, wrong one. I carry these three to work with me every day. They, and I use that. When I get the chance to go outside, I'll take my mech. If I'm stuck inside, I will sneak to the bathroom or down the hallway and take a hit off the Caliburn or the frenzy, whichever one I happen to have in my pocket at the time. So it's just, those are just mainly for convenience and to get me through until I can get out to use one of my mechs. But that's kind of where I am with pods.
Yeah, I somewhat use them. I'm not huge on them, but I somewhat use them every now and then. But yeah,
Ooh. So, all right, we're coming down to the end here. What's up, DC? No problem, man. You can you can go back and watch the replay, man. You know we got love for you. Uh,
mm-hmm.
I'm hoping everything's going good on the job front. So we're
Yep.
coming down to the end. Uh, Jay, anything you want to say before we close it out?
Just make sure y'all keep making those calls. That's all I gotta say. Just keep making sure y'all are making the calls. Make sure y'all are doing all that. Make sure y'all are emailing, whatever. Just keep doing it. That's all I gotta say, really.
Yeah, and I echo that fully, and I thank each and every one of you that are doing that every day, all day. I try to make time to make calls. If I can't make calls, I send emails. I've been having to sit through a lot of meetings the past week, so I really haven't had a lot of time to actually make phone calls. So, what I've been doing is during those meetings when I'm supposed to be paying attention, I'm actually sending emails. Uh, they think I'm sending emails for work, and I'm sending emails for this. But nobody needs to know that. So, uh, you know, everybody can make 5 minutes, and James or Frames Janklin made one of the greatest points about all this that's going on. I think it might have been not this past Omies, but the one before. Don't burn yourself out. I know Poon Sauce Corey. He made a post about that. I think today, saying that
Yeah.
he's been going so hard at this that he's having trouble just not being burnt out, and I understand that. I don't spend all day on Twitter. I don't spend all day sending emails, but I do set aside 5 or 10 minutes every once in a while during the day. It's
Yeah.
never the same time. I don't have a certain schedule that I go by, but that 5 or 10 minutes, go on Twitter, look at what's going on, make a post, make a few reposts. It's not about doing it all the time. It's about doing it to make a difference. You don't want to burn yourself out, but you just want to take 5 or 10 minutes, even 15 if you have that time, to go through, look what's going on, send an email, make a call, post on Twitter, tag the correct people, follow the correct people, so that what's going on, and you can get the most accurate and up to date information that you can, in case somebody does look at you and go, that's gonna kill you. So that way you have
Mm-hmm.
something, you have the most accurate information to share with them. So,
Yep.
like I always say, guys, let your voices be heard. Uh, we all have come together. We have unity at the moment. Poon Sauce, brother, I know it's tough, man. I know it is. We're all going through it with you, man. We love you. If you ever need anything, you can hit me up, man. Uh, you don't have my phone number, but feel free, man. Hit me with a message. My email's on here.